I love to share that story. And I share that story with a lot of young men and women to let them know that whatever God puts on your heart, it's already done and God's waiting on you. Don't wait on God because he's got this whole planet, this whole universe that he's working with second by second. But when I was 12 years old, well, let me back up a little more. I'm from High Ridge Gardens in Danbury, Connecticut. That's right on the New York State borderline, less than an hour from New York City, 30 minutes from White Plains, the Yonkers, Mount Vernon, New York, really close to the Bronx, New York. Humble beginnings as a little boy. And my father passed when I was 9 years old. So my mom raised four boys all by herself. Um, and when I was 12 years old, and this is the part that I love to share with young men and women, God put radio in my heart at 12 years old.
Wow.
And I knew, Crystal, at 12 years old that I was going to do radio. It was never a question. Just like I'm holding this phone right here in my hand, I knew I was going to do radio. But there were people, my friends, and some relatives even, that said I would never do it, that I would never do radio. I didn't know anybody, and who's going to, hire me? How can I get on the radio? And I used to listen to Frankie Crocker on WBLS in New York, the chief rocker.
Oh man, there I go, there I go, there I go, there I
There I
go.
go. Pretty little baby, you are the one who's. I forgot the words, but yeah.
Yes, yes.
And I just wanted to be like Frankie Crocker. He was the guy that I looked up to. And 7 years later, 19 years old, I am a DJ on my college radio station. I was DJ Hollywood, never been to Hollywood in all my life. And I used to, my little thing was DJ Hollywood.
Okay.
It's DJ Hollywood on your radio. And I used to do the 12 to 3 a.m. Shift. And from there, it was just the rest is history,
Wow.
There for about a year and a half. And in 1984 is when I started my professional career on a little gospel radio station in Greenville, North Carolina, called WBZQ, under the tutelage of Mr. Jim McManus. And he was going to fire me after 2 weeks because I was breaking the format. I was supposed to play country gospel. I was supposed to play it sounded like Gothic type of praise and worship, Black gospel, and contemporary Christian music. And I only wanted to play the Black and the contemporary Christian. So I would play the music. And 2 weeks later, he called me in his office and he said, "So how long have you been in radio?" And I said, 2 weeks. And he said, "So you know more in 2 weeks than I do in 25 years. And I knew exactly where he was going because they trained me on what to do. And he said, "Well, you have two choices. You can operate the format like we trained you to be, a professional broadcaster, or after this meeting, you can go home and we'll just part ways." And I said, I'll do it the way you trained me, sir." No bass in my voice, Crystal. And he said, "We hired you to be a professional broadcaster. When you're on the air, we're completely different. We're not what we sell our advertisers. We're not what we sell to our listeners. We're something completely different, and we don't like what you do." And so he just taught me how to execute a format, how to be a professional broadcaster from the very beginning, and I never strayed away from that.